Hello everyone, my name is RetroBoy03, and welcome back to another, well, not another LEGO video review. This time we're actually taking a look at my first ever mock video. And this is not exactly a full mock, it's a rebuild of the LEGO Batman movie 70900, The Joker's Balloon Escapes. This is a rebuild, so if you get that set, you can also build this model that I created. And I like to call this The Joker's Clown Mech Rampage. Very catchy, I know. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna get into the builds. And, by the way, I'm not gonna be taking a look at the minifigs in this video. I'm only gonna be showing you the builds that I've created. Anyway, let's get into it. So, here we have this main build, the Joker's Crazy Clown Mech. And as you can see, I just kind of tried to make this mech look pretty crazy, but at the same time, I mean, I did put effort into it, because I did kind of want to make, like, a mech. I wanted to make this look like it could have, as close as I could, like it could have been an actual LEGO set. I didn't exactly succeed, but I do think that it still turned out pretty okay. As you can see, up here in the front, here we have the Joker. He just attaches by, I'll just pull him off. You can see that he just attaches by these two studs on the back. And his controls are this little control stick, which would control the main arm, as well as this gun piece, which he would just move around, and that would control the flamethrower arm. And we'll just go. You have 3 balloons on the top. You can see that this is the flamethrower arm. I added a piece of TNT on top. Like, maybe it could drop dynamite. Or maybe you could just shoot that off and it would get lit by the fire. I don't know. And then on this side here we have this arm, this definitely much larger arm, which, as you can see, has a hand holding a stick of dynamite. And that is a 4-fingered hand. And if you're curious, the thumb is connected like that. So I guess it's a 3-fingered hand with a thumb, actually. On the back, I connected the Joker's large coattails here, and they're actually kind of in scale for the mech. As you can see, the legs, I kind of used the bottom balloon pieces, and by the way, these red and yellow balloons up top are just using 2 of the top pieces with an axle sticking them together. I just smacked my tripod, I apologize. As you can see, this is kind of how the feet are constructed. The yellow piece in there is a jumper with the radar dish on top of it. And, yeah, this is a pretty simple mock, but overall, I definitely like it, and I hope that you do too. So now, let's go on to the much smaller side build of this mock. So here we have our other section of the mock, which is really just kind of this very small energy tank build to go with the Gotham Energy plant, and honestly, not even really a build. I just use a couple of extra pieces I had left over. These 2 large tank pieces, of course, and the tile in the back is pretty simple. You just push down on it, and there, it worked that time. The back bursts off, and then these cylinder pieces are all supposed to fly out. The 4 of them, although for some reason it didn't work as well that time. I don't know, maybe it'll work better if I position the tile the other way. I think it might have, honestly, when I was at first testing this out. I don't know, so let me just, and then, yeah, it works a lot better if you have the tile, like, if you set up the tile like this. So anyway, so yeah, it's a pretty simple build, but I feel as though it does work pretty, well, maybe not pretty well. I feel as though it's pretty okay for just a mini little side build to add a bit more play. So anyway, now I'm going to start taking this build into sections so you can see how to build it. Starting off with the smaller energy plant build, this is a very simple build. You basically just put this on the large plate included in the set. On the back, you take one of these energy plant pieces and put it as such. Energy tank pieces, so then you can push down on that and blow it off, and then you fill, as I drop it, give me a second, you can just fill the other energy tank piece with all these cylinders, and then also put the valve on top, and you can just stick that on. So that's the smaller build. So now I'm gonna partially take apart the larger build so you can see how that's made up. Starting off with the legs, as you can see, you would take this 2x4 plate with the Technic holes in the bottom, and then put this on top for, I believe the right side, but I might be wrong about that. I just forgot. But you can put either leg on either side. So then you attach that radar dish piece, then you take this rod, and you shove on these two balloon bottom pieces. Put them on as such, and then you stick this into there. And then these are just the colors you use for the other side, and then you also have to use these two 1x4 pieces on the bottom of this one. So I'll just move those out of the way for a bit. Pause. So then for the arm, the flamethrower arm, which I used as his right arm for the mech, but you could just make it inverse if you wanted it to be the left. Anyway, so as you can see, there's an ingot on top of this kind of large. I don't actually know what the piece is called, but you know this piece. I just don't know the official name of it. Then on this side, you put two of these 1x1s with clips. On this side, you put one of them, as well as one of them facing up in black with the other style of clips. And we stick a fire piece in the front and a dynamite piece on top. Then, what's next? You attach this, you attach this black stud on, as well as this macaroni piece. You attach this brick right here. This tan brick with a stud on two sides. You shove in that pole, the 4-long pole, and then you can put an axle in between these two parts to form a balloon. So that's this arm. So now let's move on to the other one. So here we are starting with the other arm. So you just kind of want to start off with these two parts, as well as adding on this piece. And then you also. So this is kind of what you start out with. Then you add... wait, actually, give me a second. Everyone, I apologize. I messed up on showing you how to build my own mock. Anyway, so you start off with this, so you have these two studs facing the back. You attach on this piece, where you can attach these 3 fingers. And here, you put on this element, as well as this clear piece. And then you can attach on this. Now there's 4 studs. Connect that together with this green jumper. Top of here, you put this piece, as well as this clock. And then in here, you can attach this clip piece, which you can then stick this onto to create a thumb. Wait, no, you actually want to stick it onto specifically the, stick it onto this side of the clip specifically. Just, if you want him to grip this piece of dynamite, you can just kind of fold the fingers in, and you can just attach this to this other assembly for a balloon arm. So yeah, oh, and wait, actually, if you want this clip piece to be slightly more stable, you could switch the round piece it's attached to with the 2x2 gray piece inside. I just realized that. I'm gonna switch that out, actually, for the final section, so give me a sec. Okay, so now that I finally remembered how to build this arm, now let's go on to the main chassis of the mech. So you call it a chassis? I have no idea. And the dynamite fell out again, great. So here we have the mech's main chassis, or whatever. As you can see here, you start off with this 2x8 plate. On the back, you attach these 2 silver studs so that you can have the coattails, as well as you attach this piece on the back for just a bit of shaping, I guess. I don't know, I just think it looks cool. Then on here, you need to attach these 2 pieces, because you're going to need those to attach the legs of the model. Anyway, turning around to the back, you can then put on this small assembly with a blue balloon, and that's actually the only one of this build that's actually built correct as it should be, the normal design from the set. And then you just attach on this piece so that the balloon is kind of stuck in place relatively upright. And then on the bottom you attach this sub-assembly with two clips, one with one of these handles and the other one with one of these blaster pieces with a piece of flame shooting out attached to a string, where you have this other blaster, which is one of the controls the Joker would attach to. Then you also just make this sub-assembly, and you can pretty easily see how that's made, and then you just stick that on. And then now to put all the parts of the mech together, we can just attach on Mr. J, have his one hand kind of grip into this control panel, and control stick, and the other one can grip this blaster. We can bring in the mech's legs, and we can just attach each of those into one of these pieces, and, yeah, the mech's legs can't actually articulate. Oh, wait a minute, I just realized you could actually connect the coattail into the legs as well, that just kind of randomly happened, but I actually like how it looks. How you can just kind of center the... Can't get it now. You can just center the coattail over there, and then attach this pole in. So now that's actually stuck in there a bit better. I do like that. You can just use the so if I can just get this balloon on there. This is fun. There we go. And then if using just these two Technic pieces, you can just attach an arm on each side and just slip the brick into there. And surprisingly enough, it actually works pretty well as a joint. There aren't too many problems. You do definitely want to make sure that the balloon isn't too far in, or else it won't really fully go into the joint. Anyway, so yeah. That's the Joker's Crazy Clown Mech. I have no idea what I called this set at the beginning. I have completely forgotten what I was calling it at the beginning of the video. So anyway, yes, that's my build. That's kind of how you would build it. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see all of you in the next video. Farewell.